I played football and cricket alongside my brother for years as a child and teenager. I played football at quite a high level. I was a goalkeeper for Newcastle United at the Centre of Excellence as it was at the time, back in, I don't know, 1990 to 1997. Didn't get taken on as a 17-year-old, so continued playing a little bit of football in non-leagues as a sort of 17, 18-year-old, 19-year-old, but started to lose a little bit of love for it. And One of my first jobs was working as a personal trainer in a gym, and as part of that I started getting really fit, doing all sorts of cross training, and some of that was running. Really enjoyed that, and a little bit of cycling on the spin bikes. And some of the guys at the gym that I worked at did Ironman triathlons and local triathlons, which I was quite intrigued by. So a little bit of a sort of a flame was lit for that, through seeing them do their training for that, and also me enjoying running and cycling. But actually, it was when I went to university the following year and continued that job as a personal trainer that we received some coaching, to sort of see different coaches in action, and one of them was some swimming, and I realised I couldn't swim 2 lengths of a swimming pool. So I thought, this is ridiculous. There was an aquathlon, a swim run series happening locally. I thought, this is ridiculous. I'm going to train up to be able to complete one of those, a 500-metre swim and a 5-mile run from a local swimming pool. So I did that, competed my first one, loved it, and hated it at the same time, but wanted more. So trained myself to improve each time, and then once I completed that 3-race series, I wanted to do a triathlon. So I bought a bike, and I did my first pool-based triathlon locally and was absolutely hooked, and then suddenly wanted to do all of the open water swimming triathlons. So I did the London Triathlon, and this was 21, 22, this was 1999 maybe, and just hooked on triathlon. And from that point onwards, I realised you could compete for Great Britain in your age category, and that became a goal for me. And after 3 attempts at World Championships, I've finally won the World Age Group Championships for triathlon in the 25 to 29 years age category in Madeira in 2004, and won the overall event that day. In fact, from that point onwards, I wanted to progress with the aspirations of being an elite triathlete, which I did. Competed at elite level in national events and also some ETU and ITU points races, but because of my I think my swimming was my Achilles heel, and I was always finishing at the back of the swim, or even last in the swim, and I couldn't make the improvements that I wanted to. And when full-time work hit, I started to focus a bit more on duathlon, which involved 2 sports rather than 3, and was a bit more manageable. So that was the start of my duathlon career, although I'd always done duathlons as part of triathlon. About 12 years ago, I met my now coach Dave Newport, who I'd sort of got myself down to running low 30-minute 10Ks, and progressed quite well, and was cycling quite well, but having the sort of support and the help of a really knowledgeable coach. He'd also coached a European elite duathlon medalist in Tom Lowe as a runner and a duathlete. Having that sort of experience really helped me, and that moved my running on over a period of years to running a 29:30 sort of 10K, and finishing 11th at the National Cross Country Championships, and it really moved my running on at 14 sort of 29 5K, although it was never really a focus. That really helped move my running on and make it more consistent, and that really helped with the duathlons, but also just a clear focus, and the structure and support of a coach really helped progress that running and duathlon over a period of years, and it was that consistency that made the difference, really. Typical week training for me, very different from how it used to be. It used to be swim, cycle, run every day, and some strength and conditioning. But with a family and a full-time job now, probably involves about 5 runs a week, typically. 2 cycles or 3 cycles at the moment, which is not a great deal, but I do something most days, or twice on a day, that'll allow me a recovery day. So probably have a rest day at least once a fortnight now, sometimes every week, depending on energy levels. And within those 4 or 5 runs that I do, there'll be 2 sort of good hard sessions, one at sort of tempo for 35 to 50 minutes of repetitions, or good hard solid honest running, or some, and the second session will be more at sort of 10k or 5k pace, to more like 25 to 30 minutes worth of effort, or slightly less at those at repetitions of between 90 seconds and 3 minutes, so a little bit harder sort of pace stuff but shorter. Cycling, a lot of the cycling has been involved turboing over the winter, because it's just too dark and dangerous out on the roads at night time when I can train, and so they'll involve quite often just sessions around just above, around, or below FTP sort of wattage, which is, I guess, tempo, or just above for if you're in runner's language, and occasionally a sort of maybe an outdoor couple of hours ride, but nothing spectacular these days. It's just about consistency, really. One of my favourite sessions is 3x5k, or 3 times a park run on a Saturday morning. Don't get to do many of those these days. I have to do them without the park run sometimes now, but yeah, so an early start on a Saturday morning, normally getting at least one 5k or one park run first before the real park run, and then do the park run proper, to have some motivation of other people running around you and running at the same time as you, and then finish off with another one of those. So have a few minutes rest, and then hit the park run again and again. It's quite motivating because there's still people out on the course, still makes you work hard. Or the alternative is, if I can't get to a park run, which is mostly the case now, I'll do 3 5k loops elsewhere. One of them might involve using the parkrun course, a local parkrun course, or the local 5k course, and then jogging down to the next one, and then doing the next sort of 5k. So I've got 2 or 3 different loops that I use for that. So that's my favourite session. Least favourite session, I was going to say 3x5k when I'm not feeling particularly good or I'm really exhausted. That's pretty tough. Or alternatively, really find, although I really look forward to them, I really find long runs at pace really tricky. So anything, under 5 minute 40 miling, running for over an hour, running for a half marathon or more is really quite challenging for me. The body gets really achy and sore during that, because it's pretty old and knackered these days.